The kingdoms of this world do not last. They rise, they conquer, they dominate, and then they fall. But in Daniel 7, God pulls back the curtain and shows what is really happening behind history. Daniel had a dream, not like the dreams of kings filled with pride. This was a vision from God, terrifying, chaotic, and full of meaning. He saw the great sea stirred up by the winds of heaven, and out of that chaos 4 beasts emerged. The first was like a lion with eagle's wings, powerful, majestic, but then its wings were torn off. The second was like a bear, raised up on one side, devouring everything in its path. The third was like a leopard, fast and fierce, with 4 wings and 4 heads. And the fourth was unlike anything Daniel had ever seen. Terrifying, powerful, unstoppable. It had iron teeth. It crushed everything. And it had 10 horns. And then among those horns another appeared. Little horn, but this one had eyes like a man, and a mouth speaking great things, boasting, blaspheming, exalting itself. These were not just animals. These were kingdoms, empires rising from chaos, ruling with power, devouring the world. This is how human kingdoms operate. They look strong. They look unstoppable. But behind the power, they are beastly. And just when it seems like these kingdoms will rule forever, the scene shifts. The chaos stops. The vision moves from earth to heaven. Thrones are set in place. And then Daniel sees him, the Ancient of Days, his clothing white as snow, his hair like pure wool. His throne was flames of fire. This is not a distant God. This is a reigning king. A river of fire flowed from his presence. Thousands upon thousands served him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. And the court sat in judgment. Books were opened. Every kingdom, every ruler, every act of pride, accounted for. The beasts that looked unstoppable were suddenly powerless. The fourth beast was destroyed. The others lost their dominion. Because no kingdom of man escapes the judgment of God. And then Daniel sees something even greater. Through the clouds of heaven, one like a son of man appears. Not a beast, not chaotic, not corrupt, human, righteous, glorious. He approaches the Ancient of Days, and he is given dominion, glory, and a kingdom that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is everlasting. It will not pass away. His kingdom shall not be destroyed. This is the turning point of the entire vision. Every kingdom of man rises like a beast, but God's kingdom comes through a man, not through chaos, through righteousness, not through domination, through divine authority. And Daniel is overwhelmed, troubled, disturbed, shaken, because this vision reveals something we must understand. History is not random. It is not out of control. Behind every empire, God is ruling. Behind every rise and fall, God is establishing his kingdom. And the promise is clear. The saints of the Most High shall receive the kingdom and possess it forever, forever and ever. Daniel saw it, but he did not yet know the name, because hundreds of years later, Jesus would step onto the scene and take this exact title for himself, the Son of Man. When he spoke of the kingdom, he was not guessing. He was fulfilling Daniel 7. When he stood before rulers, he was the true king they could not recognize. When he was condemned, it looked like another beastly kingdom had won. But they were wrong, because the Son of Man would not stay buried. He would rise, he would ascend, and he would take his throne. And right now, he reigns. So when the world looks chaotic, when nations rage, when power seems corrupt and overwhelming, remember Daniel's vision. The beasts rise, but they do not last. The Ancient of Days still sits on the throne, and the Son of Man still reigns, and his kingdom will never fall.